Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Hot Mic. Hot Mic. On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo. Dom Izzo.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday here in North Dakota. Yes, this is not Dom Izzo. Dom Izzo and Eric Bunnell decided to make the trek back from Sioux Falls last night at midnight. Took them about 5 hours to drive back from Sioux Falls, but they made it home safely, but they need some sleep, so I'm filling in for Dom today. Hi, everyone. I'm Logan Campbell. We got a crazy busy show for you guys today. I'm really excited about it. Zach Selby's coming on. Dave Richman's coming on to talk about last night's game. I was able to talk with Cody Mauch earlier this week as soon as he got back from the NFL Combine. Jay Bachman is going to come on, Central Cass girls basketball coach. They just won their first and only Class B title. So we'll talk about what happened over the weekend. And then Cullen Holt, you see him every Monday through Friday on WDAY Sports. He will come on. We'll also recap the Class B tournament and then talk about the Super A, which starts tomorrow. Okay, let's get right into it. Zach, thank you so much for joining me. Let me turn your mic on. There we go. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm glad you were able to have me on. I hope you like my green walls that I have.
I was gonna say you were very bright today. Where is this?
So this is still in my place. But
Okay.
we're getting 2 new roommates, and we decided to be really nice and give my old office space to one of them. This is the smaller office space, and I didn't pick the wall color. It just kind of came with it. I'm going to talk to my roommate, to my landlord about getting walls that are not Nickelodeon slime green.
Yeah.
But we're going to make do. We're going to make the best of a bad situation.
I mean, you can't help but be happy in that room, I guess. It's so bright. But you might get a headache for being in there a little bit too long, maybe.
Yeah, no. I mean, they say geniuses pick green, but I didn't pick it, so somebody did. Somebody was a genius.
Somebody had great taste. All right, Zach, there's lots of NFL news. I'll start with the obvious one that I'm going to talk to you about. We kind of speculated it last time we were on the show. Carson Wentz is officially gone from Washington. When that news came out, Zach actually texted me. He's like, are you still going to have me on the show? Of course, we're going to find a way to get him on. First, I want to ask you what went behind that decision to release him from Washington.
Well, I think, Rivera talked about this during his press conference at the Combine, is that he appreciates everything that Carson did. He came in, I really do believe that they wanted him there back when they traded for him from the Indianapolis Colts. But I think the injuries kind of played a role in him missing half the year, and that was very unfortunate. And then on top of that, you had Taylor Heinicke, who was playing really well at the time, and you didn't really want to take him out, even though you had spent a lot of money, a lot of draft capital in bringing in Carson. And then whenever he came back, it just, for lack of a better, we want to sugarcoat it, it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. He had 3 interceptions. I think his either his first or his second pass attempt was an interception on a poorly timed throw. It just wasn't working out. And I know that really is unfortunate for a lot of people who were having high hopes about him. But as everything else in the NFL goes, they turn the corner. It looks like they're going to go with Sam Howell at least until the offseason workout program. Who knows what they're going to do there? But it seems like Sam's going to get a really legitimate shot at doing it. And I will say this: Carson was a class act with the whole situation. He did give Sam and his family his suite, for that last game because Sam was going to be the star. So that was a really good move by Carson. So. Hopefully, we'll see what Carson does for the rest of his time in the NFL. But I'm sure it's going to be.
So, where do you see Carson going, and do you see him being a backup quarterback or the main guy?
I think, I mean, obviously he would like to be a starter, but I think the big thing is, I mean, where would you go to be a starter if you're Carson Wentz? Are you going to go to Atlanta? They seem like they're going to at least build around Desmond Ridder. There's a case of that. I mean, Tennessee is sort of looking at maybe switching up possibly switch up the quarterback stuff, but it seems like they at least want to roll Ryan Tannehill out there. I feel like it will be tough for him to find a starting role anywhere, because the teams who don't have quarterbacks are probably going to be picking quarterback in the top 5 picks in this draft, and then those that aren't, they have their plans at least for the next year or so. So it seemed like he's going to be a backup, and according to the reports, it seemed like he's open to that possibility. I'm sure, I think if he did get a backup job, he'd be one of the better backup options in the league right now. But I'm curious to see where he wants to go with it as well. I don't know what his thoughts are about, he's been a starter for his entire career, and now all of a sudden he's not going to be the guy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. I know it's the off season and you guys don't really have that much access to players and coaches and all that kind of stuff. But how is Taylor Heineke handling all of this in Washington with Sam Howell being the projected starter heading into camp?
It honestly seemed like he is taking it very well. It seemed like he's one of Sam's biggest supporters in a lot of ways. I mean, every time that Heineke's been asked about Howell, he just has glowing things to say about him. And I mean, Heineke's been through this kind of thing for his entire career. I mean, he would, but the reality, he likes being a backup. And honestly, he said this, I think the other day on, I think it was, I can't remember what show it was on. I think it was the Pat McAfee show, about how being a backup is one of the best jobs in the world, because everyone's gonna love you, and you could be around a locker room, and you get to learn from these guys. And I think he's clearly shown that he can be a starter somewhere, or at least a quality backup somewhere. We'll see if that's in Washington or not, because as of right now, he is slated to be a free agent in, I guess, in about 7 days. So I don't know. I mean, I think Washington has said that they want to see if they can get him taken care of, but they have, new offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who I'm very excited about. Yeah. And who he may not. But we'll see. I either best, and it's been, no matter what, being able to cover him.
Oh, he's been so much fun to watch. You mentioned Eric Bieniemy. What are the vibes in Washington with him coming there?
I don't think I don't think there's been a lot of, moves around Washington that have been viewed positively or negatively. I think this is the most universally positive move that I can remember in my last 4 years. I mean,
finally.
It's such a big W for the team to get a guy like Eric Bieniemy, who, yes, I know he didn't, he wasn't as involved in calling the play. That was Andy Reid's job, the Kansas City Chiefs, but he was a pretty big part of crafting those offenses and turning them into a top 5 year in and year out. And for the moment he started talking at his introductory press conference, I was on board. Like, you can understand why this guy is a championship caliber coach, because he's so, I'm trying to find the best way to describe it. He gets you fired up about everything that he says. He has a very clear vision about what he wants. And he does have a reputation about coaching players really hard. And I think the players in Washington are really gonna enjoy that. But if you ask any player, or most players, best out of them. And I think, and I don't expect a total turnaround in Washington. It's not going to be like they're going to be from 20th to 1st in a year. That would be insane. It'd be awesome, but it would be insane. I think even if you can get just a little bit better, if they can just average a few more points a game, last year, if they just averaged 20 points a game, they're probably winning two more games. And that's crazy to think, but that's just the truth of it. And I think if he just gets a little bit more out of them, they're going to be a lot better of a unit. It's not going to be a complete turnaround. It'll be a noticeable turnaround.
I think just having just a slightly more exciting offense will get the fans more we'll get the fans more excited about the games too. And I saw Terry was at the press conference and they were talking it up, and he seems really on board with Eric, so that's exciting.
About a dozen players were at that press conference.
Really?
And, yeah, and that's unusual, but it was definitely like poignant, like to see see all of them in the front row listening. And I saw a lot of the players just nodding in agreement to a lot of things that he was saying. So that's a very good
Love
sign.
it. Love it. Some big quarterback news that happened late yesterday is with Lamar Jackson. Obviously, non-exclusive franchise tag. So let me get your 2 cents on this. Obviously, he's going to be an expensive option. Do you think people are not diving in on him because of what Washington did with Carson and what Vegas did with Derek Carr?
I think, I think it kind of goes back into a little bit of what I was talking earlier with Wentz about how a lot of these teams kind of already have an option at quarterback. And then there are other teams. I think Washington, I'm not saying Washington is definitely not going to go. I don't think they're going to go after him. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think that's going to be the case. There are a lot of things that Washington has to do to its roster, and they don't have a whole lot of money to spend this year in free agency, but they do have some room to play with and get address some needs. Like they need help on offensive line, they need help at linebacker, they need help at corner. Like they need all these things. And Lamar is probably going to get about $50 million a year. It's going to be similar probably to what Patrick Mahomes is getting. And do you look at your roster and say, okay, are we willing to give up a lot of the progress we've made to get Lamar, and is it worth it? I think if one of the worst teams like the Texans, for example, were to go after Lamar and trade a couple picks and give him a fully guaranteed deal, I'm not sure it would go the way that people would want it to go, because there's a lot of problems with that roster. Like that's one of the teams that top to bottom needs sincere help at a lot of different roles. And I just wonder if you're not getting the most out of your money if you're gonna put him on a team that has a lot of holes like that.
Where do you see him going, if anywhere, or do you think he's going to stay in Baltimore? Because I think I would be surprised, and I know I've been seeing reports from everyone saying he's not going to come to Washington. They're not going to go in for him. But do you think he's going to stay in Baltimore? Because I obviously love watching him play up there.
About teams, not being in on him, because the best teams are. I always say you never say never. So teams aren't in it until they are, and sometimes there are teams at the last minute that come in and you never really expected them, or they said they weren't in it and something changed for whatever reason. I still think it has to be in Baltimore. I think that's one of the best situations for him, honestly. I know people have thrown Atlanta out there, and I think they certainly have the cap space to do it. I think they're top 3 in cap space available. So, and I think they have a lot of picks. So it's not like they could they could definitely do it and still address some other positions. And it seems weird because it just seems like it's weird that it's gotten to this point with Baltimore, but I just can't imagine them not working something out with him, because he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. He's an elite player, and I can't imagine them just letting him go. I just can't.
I can't either, but it's weird how they can't figure out a deal. It's really weird to me, but hopefully they can figure something out. Zach, really quick before you go, you talk about how Washington needs a lineman. Well, obviously we have a friend up here who is about to be in the draft, Cody Mauch. He told me that Washington has talked to him multiple times. What are you hearing about him over in your neck of the woods?
Well, I was going to ask you how that conversation went, but I do think people like his versatility. I think people really like the fact that he played all 5 positions on the offensive line during the Senior Bowl. That's a big thing, because he's not a first round guy. He's probably going to be a late day two guy. So you need to prove your worth in some way, and it seemed like he was more than willing to say, yeah, sure, I'll play center, I'll play guard, whatever. Some people think that he's probably not going to be long enough to be a tackle, and I kind of agree with that. It seemed like he's going to be a more of a guard in the NFL. I think he's definitely got the skills to do it. He seems like he's very physical enough. There are some other small technical stuff that I think he could probably work out as he goes through his rookie year. But he's definitely got tools, and he's definitely talented. He's more than, I think, as a day two guy, you need to be willing to play other positions, because you just need to be on the field to prove your worth. He seems like he's a very And,
Yeah.
he's very enthusiastic about being in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a character, and Cody Mauch is so recognizable, and hopefully you'll get the chance to talk to him one day because he's always a great interview. So you think second day pick, second round?
Yeah, I don't see him slipping into day 3. I think some people put a second round grade on him. That seems about right. I think it depends on how the second round really shapes out. But I could see it being a second round guy. I think if it's third, it's like way early in the third, just because of his versatility and how good he can be. I don't think a team's gonna let him slip past midway through the third round.
Oh, I don't think so either. We love versatility. Zach, really fast before you go, are you baking anything good recently?
I made a chocolate chip bundt cake, or white chocolate bundt cake for our new roommates, and they have not shown up yet, so it's about half gone. I don't know, yeah, but I'm thinking about making some bread. I haven't done that since COVID because that's what everyone did during COVID. I might make some baguettes, some brioche bread.
Nice.
That'd be a new challenge for me. Yeah, I got 5 cookbooks for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of them have really good bread recipes. Have you ever had? Trying to think. So Connor makes this in the cafeteria all the time. I can't remember what bread it is, but it's very soft. But yeah, I just want to make some bread. Just have some homemade bread, some butter on it, and just make a really good filled snack out of it.
Yum, that sounds incredible. I'll have you know, everyone here at the office is waiting for you to send us some kind of baked goods, so I'm gonna hold you to that.
Oh, look, just let me know.
Perfect. We'll be in contact, Zach. Thank you so much for sharing all your insights and everything NFL with us this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, as always.
Have a great day, Zach. Zach Selby, everyone. Washington Commanders staff writer, sharing his thoughts on Carson Wentz, Cody Mauch, and everything going on with the NFL. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to catch up with Dave Richman about last night's game. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and InForum.com. Welcome back, everyone, to Hot Mic. Dom Izzo out today. I'm Logan Campbell. I'll be filling in for him. Well, last night was the Summit League Tournament Championship. NDSU fell to Oral Roberts 92-58. Dave Richman joins me this morning. Dave, thank you so much for giving me some of your time this morning. How are you?
Oh boy, Logan, I'm good. At the end of the day, I think you got a million ranges of emotion. Just after a season, after a run like that, certainly disappointment. You get that close and you fall short like that. It hurts, but more so than that, incredibly proud of a group of young men that continued to buy into a process this season, and things weren't always easy. Clearly, a lot of adversity, in particular at the start of the year, but really proud of the progress that this group made with a bright future ahead.
Walk us through the day leading up to the title game. What was that like for you and your team?
We've been fortunate, Logan, to have some success and be in this game, for a few years now, and so there is a rhythm and routine to myself and some of the members of our staff. And the thing that we talk about, and I think it's clearly helped us make this championship game for a few years in a row now, and to have success here is just really stay present in the moment, and that's enjoy the moment. It's enjoy being with your teammates, lock in for film sessions, shoot arounds. The game, in particular this year, where you play at 8:30 Sunday, you play at 8:30 Monday, you don't play until 8 o'clock on Tuesday. They're long days, and if you try to play that game over in your head a million times over, you're going to exhaust yourself. So we have a routine. It's a collective group of support staff and players buying into that routine. And like I said, certainly disappointed. I thought ORU was just a really hungry, mature team last night. We just weren't ready for that. But also, like I said, incredibly pleased and proud of the progress this group made and the brighter days ahead.
I just want to touch on Oral Roberts a little bit. Max Asmus, 26 points. Connor Vanover, 10 points, 10 rebounds. I mean, going up against guys like that at that caliber, how do you prepare your team to face those players?
Well, I think that's why you come to NDSU, Logan, to be on that stage last night and play against great competition. The way you get better is to be uncomfortable. The way you're uncomfortable is you play against guys like Max Asmus, Connor Vanover. Max is, boy, I mean, how many times have I spoken that young man's name and just keep showing up, and what a competitor, his durability, shot making ability. And then, they were a talented, unit already. And then Connor just kind of pushes them over the edge, certainly not taking anything away from who he is offensively. He made 10 points, and that certainly had an impact on the game. But, his presence, he had 6 blocks last night. And not only did he have 6 blocks, countless times he had an effect on the shots, or, made us think twice about shooting. That really changes things for them defensively.
After the game, what were players like Grant Nelson, Andrew Morgan, Bowden Skunberg saying?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of emotion, Logan. This is you dive into this thing. I mean, it's a 24/7, 365 deal, college basketball, and in particular from late September when we started practice up until last night. Guys pour a lot into this. There's a lot of sacrifice. There's disappointment in the locker room. There's a lot of emotion in the locker room. But I also think there's guys that are, I don't think, but, I hope there's guys in that locker room that are very proud of what they've done and what they've accomplished and how they've represented themselves in this university and in this community.
You talk about how you're disappointed after last night's loss, but there's a lot of good that also came out of this tournament. You put up a dominant performance against South Dakota State, a really fun game against South Dakota, and a lot of these younger guys have really stepped up, and we saw blinks of it during the season, but we really saw it during the tournament. Talk about Damari Wheeler-Thomas and Javis Miller and just what you've seen from these younger guys step up on such a big stage.
Yeah, this year probably more so than the last few years, Logan. I didn't know necessarily what to expect just because we had such a young group. 13 guys on a roster, 8 guys have never been in the Sioux Falls or in the Premier Center for this event. Multiple of those 8 guys are playing significant minutes, in particular the 2 that you mentioned. Two of my favorites already, and it's a very talented backcourt in Damari Wheeler-Thomas and Javis Miller. And why they're probably already some of my favorites is just because, we talk about dogs, DAWGS, and that's just who they are. They're fearless. Sometimes that fearlessness gets them in trouble, but I'd rather it the other way. Damari, Javis in particular on Sunday night against South Dakota was huge. He was a monster in the second half. It's some big shots, including what ultimately ended up being the game winner. And then I thought, when South Dakota State punched back, we were able to make a little bit of a run at the end of the first half on Monday night. And then just the way Damari came out of the gates in the second half and set the tone with some big shots. And we know what a talent that Zeke Mayo is, and as much as Damari did offensively for us, he literally emptied his tank on both ends of the floor and defending Zeke and making some big plays for us offensively as well.
I know that your season just ended, but seeing that kind of performance and those guys put up numbers like that, does that get you excited for them coming back next season?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting, Logan, and I've said this in many public forums. We're in transformational times, and we doubled down this past spring on some things that we've done in the past that have made us successful, and that's high school guys with ties to the Midwest, ties to North Dakota State, and in a lot of ways, I don't know if we could do it again just with 5 freshmen and that many, 4 freshmen contributing, and even I think about like guys like Andrew Morgan and Josh Strite, who, yeah, they're sophomores, but their seasons last year were anything but, natural with injuries and red shirts being pulled and all that. But now that we're to this point with this group, I couldn't be more excited. We've got to do some things to hopefully continue to hold this group together, continue to challenge this group in the off season to get better. But like I said, very, very proud of our program. Very proud of the process, that leads to these successes. But more so, just really pleased with the guys in the group that will continue to buy into these things that matter. They're not easy, Logan.
You said that you need to do some things to hold this group together. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's transformational times,
Yeah.
I think we got a group that's excited about coming back. Anytime you finish up a season, you need to make sure that everybody's on the same page, and even guys that might be thinking about coming back. Do we want to make sure that we have happiness? At the end of the day, I tell our guys all the time, my happiness comes from their happiness, and I'm not naive. I know there's an elephant in the room with the transfer portal and all these things, Logan. I'm not running from that. We're not necessarily like re-recruiting our guys. That's not what we're all about, but we're transparent. We have a process. We love our guys to death. We pour into them for 22 hours a day because of how we coach them for 2 hours of the day. And we feel like we're on the verge of something special, and we need to continue to have conversations that are going to make guys uncomfortable so they can continue to grow and really validate and make sure that those roots that they've started to lay within our program are just only continuing to permeate deeper into the ground.
As a coach, how tough is it for you to kind of get the lay of the land and figure out, okay, this guy is thinking about leaving? Do you even think about that, or how do you navigate this?
We kind of touched on those things, Logan, and the bottom line is next fall there's going to be a season at NDSU basketball, and we'll move forward with who's ever ready.
All right. You talk about the elephant in the room. Obviously, Grant Nelson has been a huge topic of conversation. Things are going to start picking up with him. As his coach and a mentor to him, what advice have you been giving him?
Well, I think, again, going back to the last question, Grant is going to be back at NDSU or he's not going to be back at NDSU. and NDSU basketball is going to move forward with or without Dave Richman, with or without Grant Nelson. And, I'm going to continue to support Grant. I know his dream and my dream for him is to play in the NBA. Some of those conversations are clearly out of our hands based on our lack of expertise in those situations. It's my fully understanding that we'll do the paperwork and process and have Grant declare for the NBA draft, and I do appreciate the NCAA parting with the NBA to do some things where you can test the waters, you can get a better gauge, and there's more guidance from those things. And what happens then? We'll just take it step by step with the guidance of some people that know a lot more than Grant and I do.
If I will ask you one last question, Dave, just thinking about the whole entire season, if you could just describe the season in a few words, what would it be?
I think it's very rewarding. That would be where I start. My father always told me, parenting will be the most challenging and rewarding thing you ever do in your life. And I think of guys like Bowden Scumberg, who, gosh, he challenges me in our program in so many ways just because of the competitor that he is and all this. But there is no greater reward than my ladies at home than Bowden Scumberg for me. And I say that very confidently based on coaching a bunch of guys that I would do anything for. And so, like I said, we challenge our guys in a lot of ways, and there's a fine line. And sometimes I'm an idiot, Logan, and I might even cross that line with how something's said, where it's said, something like that. But at the end of the day, these guys know who I am. They know who our staff is, how much we love them, how much we care for them. They know, they'll be the first to tell you that we're not perfect. They're not perfect. It's a family. There's conflict within family. And but when anytime you go through with a group, not just with the players, but the staff and Stephanie Whitman and Jason Miller and Wes Offerman and Bailey has done a terrific job with our marketing. Josh Sass, Josh Jones, Spencer Wilker, Cameron Greer, like the list goes on. I'm forgetting our managers. Like there's so many people that sacrifice so much for Bison basketball. And at the very top of this thing as a leader, as the head coach, I'm really grateful for those things.
All right, Dave. Well, it was a great run you guys went on this season. It was a lot of fun getting to watch and cover you guys. And as always, I really appreciate you giving us the time and sharing all of the insights going on with NDSU men's basketball.
We appreciate you, Logan, and WDAY for being along for the ride.
Of course. Drive safely back to Fargo if you guys haven't left yet.
Thank you.
No problem. Dave Richman, everyone, coming off of a 92-58 loss to Oral Roberts in the Summit League title game. So I was able to actually catch up with Grant Nelson's parents and his brother, who has been handling all of this attention that he's been getting. His brother is stepping in as the agent for right now. So now that the season is over, what they said is his next steps is he's going to find an agent and he is going to sign with that agent. He hasn't found one that he's decided on yet. They said that nationally recognized agents have been reaching out to them every week, trying to sell why they are the best fit for Grant. So they said hopefully by mid-March, they'll make a decision. Then he's going to go through with the NBA draft process. Now you can go through with the process and you can decide to come back and play college basketball. So he's going to go through, hopefully get invited to the NBA Combine, play things out and see how things go there, and then make a decision on if he's going to pursue the NBA or come back and play Division I basketball. Then the question is he going to come back to NDSU or is he going to transfer and go to a different school? I've had conversations with Grant. He's told me he hasn't really thought much about it. He didn't really want to think about it until the end of the season. Who knows how true that is? But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Grant Nelson coming up in this next month and over the next few months. So, yeah, that'll be fun to keep an eye out for. All right, we're due for a break. When we come back, Cody Mauch will be talking about the NFL Combine. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and InForum.com. The NFL Draft is a month and a half away. Coming up next, my conversation with Cody Mauch, recapping the NFL Combine. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Hot Mic. That's some new music I haven't heard before. It is snowing outside. Roads are not very good, so everyone be safe when you're driving out there today. It took me 30 minutes to get to work today. I have never really seen traffic in North Dakota before today. It reminded me of home, so be careful when you're driving out there. Dom Izzo is out today. It took him 5 hours to drive back from Sioux Falls, so he is resting up, getting ready before the Class A Super A tournament kicks off tomorrow. Cullen Holt will join me later on in the show. We'll preview the teams that will be playing in that. Class B tournament just got wrapped up. Bachman will join me in about 15 minutes to talk about Central Cass's first and only Class B title. So history was made this past weekend, which is exciting. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, things are starting to ramp up in the NFL with the draft, which is coming up April 27th through April 29th. We just had Zach Selby on. Washington has talked to Cody multiple times from what I've been told. And Zach said that he thinks he might go second round. He does not see him fall into the third round. I've seen mock drafts that have him going first. So it'll be exciting to see where he ends up. But over this weekend, he participated in the NFL Combine, and Cody is the best. He literally talked to me as soon as he got home back in California after the Combine. So I really appreciate him giving me the time of day. And let's roll that interview. What were your expectations heading into this weekend?
Yeah, I guess really what I expected going in, I just wanted to have the chance to meet more formally with a lot of the teams or interview with a lot of the teams. And also just go out and kind of showcase, kind of what everyone wants to see at the Combine, like the 40 and all the stuff all that kind of stuff. And I was excited to get out on the field and do some of those O-line drills. I feel like those are actually a little bit more relatable to offensive linemen.
Is there a part that you thought you did really well in, or that the scouts told you, hey, you killed this part?
Yeah, I actually thought the O-line drills might have been the best part of what I did. Just all like change of direction and kind of just movement and bending stuff. I thought that was probably the best thing I did this week.
Heading into this weekend, did your agent kind of like tell you like how like the lay of the land, or did you get there and just kind of figure things out?
Yeah, we had, multiple people who had been there in the past have kind of told us what to expect. Our agents told us what to expect. even just reaching out to guys like Cordell, kind of like what it was like even just last year. So it was good to have somewhat of an idea what to expect going into it.
What did Cordell tell you?
He just kind of gave me a day by day of, well, this is what's going to happen this day and then this day. And actually, I think the schedule is a little bit more player friendly this year than it has been in the past, just a little bit more downtime. And but yeah, he just kind of gave me a rundown of what each day is going to look like, how the medical and all that stuff works.
Okay, so walk us through a typical day at the NFL Combine.
Yeah, I mean, like in the middle there, in the middle days, we'd wake up, have breakfast, and then go to either a hospital or like we went to the stadium and there's like a bunch of doctors that we'd meet with, and then kind of just go over all of our medical history, injuries we've had, and then they kind of take you through a gauntlet of like these 6 rooms with 30 doctors in each room, and they just read your entire injury history, and then doctors can order MRIs and x-rays on your body if they want to. And so then after that, you got to go and get whatever x-rays and MRIs they wanted you to do. And then, I mean, after that, if you don't have anything, you're done before noon on that day. If there's some guys who are there till 7 p.m., so it all depends on how like healthy you were. But then later that day, we went and we had formal and informal meetings with the teams, just kind of, I don't even know what it was, an hour and a half block maybe, where we just get to interview with teams for a little bit. And then, you got to find a little bit of time in your day too, to go and still like train with your coaches to stay ready for the 40 and all that.
What teams did you meet with, and have you met with teams multiple times?
Yeah, I mean, I bet I met throughout the week. I probably met with, I'd say 25 of the teams, maybe. There's not even enough time to be able to meet with every team because they're like 15-minute rotations on the interviews. But so I was able to meet with most of the teams, and I met with a couple teams twice too. So that was good. Formally and informally, I was able to meet with some teams.
Which teams have you met with twice?
I think it was the Cardinals, the Eagles, Washington. Those were a few of the ones, I guess, off the top of my head, I remember meeting twice.
You also were pulled for interviews. I mean, how is that like being on NFL Network and being talked to on national television?
Yeah, I guess there were so many people kind of trying to grab me and whatnot that I wasn't really too sure, like even what broadcast it was going to. So it really didn't. I mean, it was as if it was a local radio that was interviewing me. So that was kind of how I was treating it too. But no, it was definitely cool, and then cool to kind of see that. I was watching the kind of the rerun of the day because I don't really get to watch the TV copy while I'm doing it. So and it was kind of cool to be able to see that.
What have people from back home been saying to you?
Everyone's really happy for me. They thought I performed well. I thought I performed well. They're all just kind of happy I had a good time. Everyone's real excited, to meet up again with me in a couple weeks here when I head back to Fargo.
Yeah. Is there a favorite part or memory that you have from this weekend?
I actually think it might have been the first night. I'm getting to my hotel room, which was, my room was in a train. Like that's a whole other story. Like downtown, there's at the hotels, the train station is kind of what the place is called. And on the second floor, there's like these green trains running through the hallways that have rooms in them. And so I was in one of the trains, and I had no idea who my roommate was going to be. And I opened the door, and it was Hunter Lipke. And so that was pretty sweet that might have been my favorite part of the week, just opening and being like, okay, not only do I have a good roommate, but it's like one of my friends too.
Wait, you guys had no idea you're going to be rooming together?
Yeah, we had no idea.
So what was his reaction when he saw you walk in?
He just kind of turned around. He's like, oh, hey, dude. Like, it was pretty sweet.
That is crazy. What a small world. I mean, how nice was that just to have someone to come back to every night and just talk about your day, someone that you already know?
Yeah, it was so nice because, like you said, we just kind of can talk about our day. You know, we spent a lot of time kind of catching up the first night, seeing how training is going for each other. And no, it's just so nice to have someone that you already have a good relationship with, and you can just kind of talk about everything that's going on with you to each other.
When you were doing the actual events, and I want to talk about the 40, you ran your fastest 5.09 seconds. When you finished that, were you like, yeah, that was fast, I did really well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the second rep definitely felt better to me, and I guess I looked up and saw the time, and I was fine with that. I really just wanted to go out there, and I mean, I was trying to get as close as I could to 5.0, and I was happy with that time. And I mean, it felt pretty good. You know, I think for offensive linemen, the 10-yard split's probably more important than anything. And I don't even remember what I had, maybe a 1.79 or something, like whatever it was. I remember looking and just being like, okay, yeah, I'm happy with that.
That's awesome. So I'm assuming you're gonna come back here for Pro Day.
Yeah, I will be. Yep.
What events are you gonna be doing?
I'm still not too sure on that. I'm gonna go. I'll talk with my agent about it, kind of just what we're thinking. We'll have to see. I might redo some of the agilities. I'm not too sure yet.
Okay. I want to ask you this because I'm curious. You know, you started building national attention during the season, then it kept building during playoffs. But now after this, literally, I feel like everyone knows who you are. How are you kind of able to handle all that?
Yeah, I really don't. It's cool. It's really cool to kind of, you know, have the problem to have to deal with that. And I think I've done fine with it. It's just, I don't know how much of the attention is actually from me being a good football player versus me just having a unique look. But I mean, I'll take what I can get. But no, it hasn't been too hard to manage, I guess. Just got to stay grounded.
Okay, so I also have to ask you this because I saw reports saying you're going to get your 2 front teeth fixed. Is that true or false?
It's not confirmed for sure. I don't even, if anything, I'm probably going to fix them when I'm done with football, but I don't even know if I'll ever do it. Well, that's going to be, I'm going to have a talk with some of the close people in my life and figure that one out.
It's a signature Cody look. I don't know if you can get rid of that.
I don't know if I can either.
You've been living out in California. You haven't lived outside of North Dakota.
North Dakota, yeah.
I mean, how has that been, just living on the coast?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. No, it's been a lot of fun. The people I'm training with, the people who are training me, honestly, just all the people that I'm kind of surrounded with are awesome. Like that makes it so easy to, you know, the more you kind of train with them, the closer you get with them. And then it's kind of just like freshman year at college, just meeting new people who, and, you know, especially now who have similar goals to you. So, you know, we all mesh pretty well. It's also nice. Spencer Wage's out here. So there's at least some little bit of home out here with me too. So me and Spence, you know, we have a good connection. So it's nice to have him here, but, you know, it's been really nice out here. I've been having a lot of fun. Never thought that, you know, after the combine, when I'm flying home, I'd be like happy that I'm back in California, but here I am back in California and I'm really happy I'm back.
What's been your favorite part of this entire transition period into the professional league?
I think just meeting all the people, like there's so many cool people you meet at the Senior Bowl, you meet at the combine, the people we're meeting out here, like not only the guys we're training with, but like the former NFL players who are training at our facility that we're able to connect with and learn from. It's just been so awesome to meet these successful people.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we'll see you back here in Fargo in a few weeks. What's going to be the first thing you do when you get back to North Dakota?
I'm gonna go pick my dog up. Actually, my friend, 2 friends are watching him, and yeah, I'm missing my dog more than anything.
Always so great catching up with Cody. That was literally at 9:30 at night here, so 7:30 his time, and it seriously was right after he got off the plane, which I really appreciate everyone giving me, and especially guys who are going through this intense process, giving me their time of day. Obviously, he did really well. He was selected to the 2023 All-Combine Team Offense, which is pretty incredible. And actually, this morning before the show started, Stacey Dales, who's with NFL Network, she was the one that interviewed him. She tweeted out saying that he was her favorite player that she talked to the entire draft. So the publicity just keeps growing and growing and for Cody. So that's really exciting. I looked to see where different drafts are saying he's going to get selected. The most recent one that came out was 2 days ago. They have him 28th going to the Bengals. I mean, how cool would that be if Cody and Cordell were reunited? I think that would be pretty sweet. They also have him going 27th to the Bills, 24th to the Jags, 30th to the Eagles, and then 16th, which is the highest he's projected to go so far, to Washington. I told him I would not mind him being in Washington at all. We need an offensive lineman, and I know that he'll be able to do the job and protect anyone we have under center, because who knows who that will be and who knows how many times that will change during the season, knowing Washington's history. All right, so that's the latest with Cody Mauch. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk some high school basketball happening in North Dakota. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and InForum.com.
This is Hot Mic. Hot Mic on the networks of WDAY. WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hot Mic. Dom Izzo is out today, getting some sleep after getting back from Sioux Falls at 5 in the morning. So I'm Logan Campbell. I'll be filling in for him today. Okay, so the Class B girls tournament wrapped up this weekend. It literally feels like a blur. That weekend just was so fun. It went by so fast. But I'm now joined by the newest Class B champion head coach, Jay Bachman. Jay, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Has it hit Central Cass yet that you guys have won the Class B championship?
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely you're definitely still on cloud nine a little bit. You're still walking around and you're still seeing people who maybe haven't seen you or the girls since Saturday. So they're still, like I saw today a teacher who was gone, and he was like so excited. Like he was still really excited. And I'm like, hey, yeah, thanks, man. You know, it's a Wednesday morning. And he was like so excited. And then you get excited. And I would say the biggest thing is people want to keep kind of rehashing the game, right? They're like, I can't believe of this play, or I can't believe when Ava hit the three, or Claire made all 5 free throws. Like those are the things that like kind of keep it alive. And like, you want to enjoy it and cherish it, but at the same time, it's like it keeps coming back up, and then I get butterflies in my stomach again. So it's still weak, I suppose you could say. And it's been a good 3 days for sure.
Oh, for sure. And you guys have had instant classic after instant classic in the Class B tournament, overtime and the semifinals with rugby. We'll do that one first. What were you telling your team in those final moments of the game?
Oh my gosh. I mean, in regulation, when there was 22 seconds left, it was like, we're down 2, we're playing defense, and it's like going over every scenario we can think of. If they get it in, we have to foul. If we can trap, we just trap. You know, we want this girl to get it. And then they threw it out of bounds. So they did us. I mean, honestly, at that point in my head, that was the most doubtful I was the whole weekend.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Because they didn't have the ball. We didn't have the ball, and we were already down. And I would say that was the point where I was most like, oh crap, like this is gonna be close. But the girls pulled through. Like that was crazy. And then, you know, to score, and then we get the ball back, and then there's 7 seconds, and we drew up a play in the huddle, and the play wasn't anything special, right? It was like a very simple play we ran many times. And I said, if the girls go here, do this. If they do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they collapse down, kick it to Claire. And it worked exactly how we talked about it in the huddle. And DeConte just missed that layup. And then it's, oh man, we were so close. But then you looked at D right away. She was kind of laughing and smiling. And then I had a really good feeling like, we're going to win this, because we weren't hanging our heads, right? We were excited, and the girls were kind of laughing in the huddle, and it was a really good feeling after missing a winning shot, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was a good feeling.
Oh, okay. So you had an emotional win, then you had to bounce back the next day and play the top seed Thompson, who you guys lost to earlier in the season. I mean,
Yep.
And you guys came out guns blazing at the beginning of that game. What were the girls saying before the game even started?
I think before the game, honestly, having played them and getting to watch the entire game before us, I think it was honestly kind of calming, which is crazy to think we're going to play the number 1 seed. But it was kind of calming. It was kind of like refreshing almost that, hey, we have an opponent we've played. Like, we know these teams, like, we can handle it. And before the game, you could just, like, 2 years ago, the girls were nervous. They were nervous. They were a little bit scared, it seemed like. Like, we were playing tight, and we didn't play tight. Like, we came out ready to go. You can usually get a really good feeling from the twins, right? If you can look at Delaney and Claire and just kind of think, how are they feeling? What are they looking like? And that's like a good vibe for what the team is like. And they were loose. They were smiling. Claire was like not nervous at all, which is crazy. Like, she's 18 years old and she's ready to play in the state championship. And she honestly wasn't nervous. Like, I talked to her after she sang the national anthem, and I'm like, "Are you ready, Claire?" And she's like, "I was more nervous for the national anthem. I'm not even nervous for the game."
No kidding.
Yeah. So, it was just a good feeling before the game. And I think we knew we could do it. That was the thing, we had lost to them, but we honestly played pretty bad the first time. So, I think there was just a feeling of, we can do this and we don't need to be nervous today.
Mm-hmm.
Which was awesome for me as a coach to be able to know that's how they felt.
So we were talking before the game, and you said it's kind of the pregame ritual for the Cotton Twins to sing the national anthem. So I said,
Sure.
Maybe a good omen's coming your way, and clearly it worked out.
Yeah, for sure.
So during the final seconds, I actually think it was the final second, Olivia Dick hit a 3-pointer to send it into overtime. Were you just like, oh my gosh, not again?
Yes, 100%. 100%. So we had talked in the huddle, like, do we foul them? Like, what should we do? Should we just play them straight up? And we decided to play it straight up and make them make a really hard shot. And honestly, watching the game back, like, our defense was really good. We did everything we wanted to do. Olivia just made a really hard shot. I think if she shoots that 100 times, she only makes it a couple. Like, I was directly in line, like, right behind her from the bench. And I'm like, there's no way I would have bet that was going in for how hard she shot it. But once again, the girls came to the huddle and they weren't scared. They were like, we can do it. We did it yesterday. I talked about, like, scenarios like, hey, this is what we want to do in the first minute. These are the plays we want to try to go through. We kind of tweaked a little play during the huddle. But once again, the girls didn't seem scared. They didn't seem nervous. I talked a couple X's and O things, but it wasn't like I didn't have to, like, talk them down. Like, they were excited. They were ready to go. And I think, they showed it because, we got down early, but they just kept fighting and never got flustered. So it was sweet.
To be 18 and 17 and be 16, 15, 14, however old they are, and be calm in that situation is just wild to me, because I would be sweating and panicking if I was in that huddle.
For sure, yeah.
DeConte Smith, she is such a fun, incredible player to watch. I honestly think one of the play of the games, and one that I keep thinking about, is when she just swatted the ball, I think in the end of third quarter, fourth quarter, to block the shot. I think that was honestly one of the plays of the tournament for me. But just talk about her as a player and the impact that she's had on your program at Central Cass.
Like, that play alone where she blocks that, and then she kind of stared the girl down a little bit, like, the WNBA or something. Like, that was awesome, right? Like, that was on a lot of the highlight things that we've seen. She just brings another level, right? Like, she just takes what you want to do and she just brings it to that next level. Like, there's times in the season and times in her career, honestly, where she maybe shied away or became a little passive at times. Mm-hmm. And that D never showed up, and that's okay. Like, she just brings it to the next level. Like, her athleticism alone can take things to the next level, right? Like, talking with Northern State coaches, Paula, she just has that next level that other people don't have, right? She can take her speed, her strength to that next point. And it's hard to match. Like people, like, I don't know if there was a person this whole weekend in the tournament that matched her aggressiveness, that matched her ability to get to the basket. I mean, Aston Sage Thompson was a absolute stud, but I mean, I think Dee was on another planet, if I'm being honest, like just for how well she played and how defensive. I mean, she had 17 rebounds. Like that's
crazy.
And she's only like 5'8", 5'9". Like she's not a 6-foot girl. Like and to have that many rebounds just shows her athleticism and her skill. And she's meant a lot to the school, right? Like, I mean, she's won multiple state championships in track for many different events, led us to a team title. She'll probably, I would say, we're the favorite to win the state track meet again. I mean, we just won state basketball. Like, she only started playing volleyball as a sophomore, and she was all region this year, and she was considered for like the all-star game. Like, she's just been really important to our school and our team, and especially my program. Like, I mean, it's been really awesome for her, and we're super excited for her and what she can do in her future.
Well, not only her, you have such an incredible senior class, the Cotton Twins, Taylor Severson. By the way, she got hurt at the end of the game. Yep. What's the latest with her?
So she's good. She has always had like bad ankles.
Okay.
Like they just always bad. And you know, it always seems like if she gets tripped or if like something happens, like a contact and her ankle rolls, it's usually pretty substantial, like out for a few weeks. That's actually what happened early in the season, is she kind of got tripped up and then rolled her ankle. She's walking around. It's pretty swollen still. But she's already walking and she'll be fine. Taylor's a super good softball player. So she honestly is really kind of thinking about that, like trying to get ready for softball. So she rolled her ankle. She'll be fine. Yeah, but
well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Also, Tori Richter is a big softball player. I mean, they're all seniors. What does the senior class mean to you, and how hard is it knowing that you just had your last game with them?
Yeah, I mean, we have our final team meeting tomorrow. That will be hard. Just to see them go, because we talk about the season, we wrap it up, and then we talk about summer. We talk about off-season workouts, and they'll be gone. So it'll be different. Like, I've known these girls for a long time. I think I said the other day to somebody that nobody's irreplaceable, but at the same time, it's hard to replace these girls, like for many different reasons. They're just a really good group of kids. Like, they can do anything that they set their mind to. I mean, we have 4 of the 7 are going to play college sports next year and make a huge impact on wherever they go. And the other 3 probably could play college softball somewhere, because the other 3, Taylor, Camry, and Mickey, are all really good softball players. So honestly, they could play softball somewhere if they really wanted to. But it's hard. It'll be hard. It'll be sad. I'm sure there'll be some tears. At the same time, it's excitement for the younger kids, because now some of the younger kids have already talked to me about, we have to get back. We have to get back. We need to, we need a couple years, and it's really exciting, and it's really sad. I think, and one of the things I said, we're going to keep enjoying this though.
Yes.
Even though we're sad, and even though they're going to leave, we're going to keep enjoying this. I mean, really, we got 9 months to enjoy this baby. So
for sure.
So we're going to keep enjoying it. And during the class, our boys might make the state tournament, which would be amazing. And they always do the walk of champions. So, our girls are really excited that they get to do the walk of champions in a couple weekends at the state B boys. And they were really looking forward to that. They're really excited to be able to do that as a basketball team. And to show that they can be together one more time. And it'd be really cool if our boys were there.
Yeah.
Because then it would be more fun. So
And
we're gonna keep enjoying this one.
And a big game tomorrow for them. They're playing Kindred in the Region 1 boys or Region 2, Region 1 boys final, which I'm really excited to see highlights of that game. I want to talk to you really fast because you guys made history. This was the first and only Class B title. You talk about your girls saying we have to make it back, but you guys are moving up to the new Class A. I mean, does that kind of throw a wrench in the plans on, like, obviously you want to make it back, but does it make things a little bit more difficult?
I mean, yes and no. I think it makes it more difficult because our competition level is going to raise, obviously. But at the same time, you know, you could take 2 from your region. So really you maybe even 3. So it makes it more difficult because our competition level will definitely be higher. But at the same time, I think we still have a chance. Like, I think don't count us out. Like, obviously we're going to be young next year, but we have some really good players coming back that played a lot of varsity minutes for us this year. Towards in-state, you know, we kind of narrowed our rotation down a little bit, but I have a lot of younger girls that played a lot of minutes. And my JV team only lost 1 game all season. My C squad team only lost like 3 games all season. Like, the cupboards aren't bare. We'll just say that for the Squirrels. And you know, we're going to keep moving. We work hard. That's our thing, is we work harder. We try to work harder than every team that we're going to play. And we're going to keep doing what we do and keep trying to get better every day. So it'll be.
Who are some of these younger players that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, for sure. So, Ava Cotton, right, one of the last of the 4 Cotton girls that I'll get a coach. She, you know, hits a huge 3. She's a really good player. Taylor Severson has a little sister named Liv Severson, and she is really good. Like, she was only a freshman this year, but honestly, next year she's going to take a huge jump, and a lot of people are going to know her name. She's going to be really, really good. And then I have another sophomore, Becca Kegley is her name. She'll be a junior next year. Really good, you know, forward type player, really good around the hoop. I mean, those 3 are just really like outstanding basketball players. They play a lot of basketball in the summers. They play a lot of basketball basically year round. So it's going to be really fun to see them get a chance to grow because they learned from the state champions, and they practiced with them every day. So it'll be really fun. And I'm really excited for those girls to step up.
I'm excited to see them too. It'll be a fun season next year already, even though the season just ended. What was your, besides winning the Class B championship, what was your favorite memory, or if you have one, from this season?
You know, my favorite memory was, I mean, there's a lot of them. It honestly, the season went so fast.
Yeah.
Everything just kind of melts together. Winning the region is huge, right? Our region's so hard. Region 1 is so good. To beat 3 really quality teams, and then to beat a rival in Northern Cass in the region tournament, and to do so with some authority, winning by 30 and then 20 in the region championship. That's one of my favorite memories. Like, winning the state championship is awesome, but winning your region is a hard thing to do. There's a lot of teams that never do that ever. So that was really fun. Like, I'm looking at a picture right now on my wall of us winning it, and that's a fun thing, like, to do that. And because it just shows that the girls are, you know, what they can do. And that's, yeah.
It's so awesome. You guys had such an incredible season. It's been so fun to get to watch you guys all year long. Jay, thank you so much for giving me some of your time this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Jay Bachman, everyone's Central Cass girls basketball head coach, the newest Class B champions. Really exciting stuff there. Hopefully we'll see them in Bismarck in a few weeks. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Cullen Holt will join me. We'll talk about Class A, the Super A tournament, starting tomorrow. A snowy day in Fargo. Hopefully everyone is staying safe. Stay off the roads if you can. Cullen is running a little bit late, so we're going to stall while we wait for him to get here safely. Dom Izzo out today, just got back from Sioux Falls at 5 in the morning. He is resting up before the Super A tournament begins tomorrow. Cullen Holt and I were just in Minot for the Class B Girls Championship. Then we're going to head to Bismarck, not this weekend, but next weekend for the Class B Boys. Tournament time in North Dakota is one of my favorites. I love getting to know all of these high school players and coaches and teams, and it goes by so fast. March goes by so fast. And then spring ball for NDSU starts at the end of March. I'm going on vacation at the end of March. And yeah, March is a fun month for me. My birthday is at the end of March, turning 25, which is old, which I'm not excited about, but yes, that's happening. So March is a good month. Okay, so yep, Kyle. Are you 23? 22? 22. He just said I'm really old. Thank you. I appreciate that. Older and wiser. That's what we're going to go with. So obviously this is a sports show, but I'm going to share with you some of my interests, and my guilty pleasure is reality TV. If it's on Bravo, I'm watching it. I love reality TV, and I'm going to share with you guys some of the drama because this is like all over my TikTok. And for those of you who don't know what TikTok is, it's like an app that shows like small 30-second videos. And there's a show called Vanderpump Rules, which is about these people. So it started like 10 years ago. Obviously, I started watching it 10 years ago when it first started. And it's about these servers that work at this restaurant in LA that's owned by Lisa Vanderpump, who is one of the Real Housewives. Okay, I'm not going to get too into the backstory. Anyways, so all these different relationships started creating from there. So they're all a big friend group. Some of them started dating each other, and this one couple, Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix, have been dating for 10 years. Okay. Or yeah, dating. They're not married. They've just been dating for 10 years. Have dogs together and live together, not married, just dating. Well, anyways, this girl named Raquel entered the friend group like 5 years ago. She started dating this guy named James, who is like the loose cannon of the group. You never know what he's going to do. They ended up getting engaged last year. She broke off the engagement, so they haven't been together. Right now, there's the new season coming out. They're filming. So for them, they film during the regular season and push it out. Not every week, but like 2 weeks at a time, they'll like push it out. And it came out that Ariana Madix found out that her longtime boyfriend was cheating on her with Raquel for the past year. Drama. And if you guys don't know the show, you need to watch the show because there is so much drama. And I love, because I can't imagine being 30 years old and acting this way. So I have to live vicariously through these other people. But you need to watch the show because they're now going back and they're filming. Oh, there's a train. Add it to the list. They're going back and they're filming to get live reactions from this show. So if you want to start watching reality TV, I highly recommend watching Vanderpump Rules. Watch the first season and then watch this current season. I'm telling you, it does not disappoint. Vanderpump Rules on Bravo. I think it's on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. Check it out. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Cullen is here. I see him sitting in the window. We'll talk some Class B and Class A basketball right after this break. Welcome back to Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and InForum.com. Cullen made it. Sorry, I just got a text. Cullen.
Is that how you pronounce my name now?
I was like, wait, that was not sound
nice introduction there.
Totally botched that one.
Clip that for Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, Cullen.
That's me.
Yep, is here in the office. I was just thinking about what you called Sherwin, his first time on there.
Oh, Shirt and Sherwin? It's my guy.
Shirt and Sherwin. Okay, so
Poor guy.
What a guy. So me and Cullen were just in Minot for the Class B girls. You actually used to live in Minot, though.
Yeah, for like 3 months.
Okay, so what was it like being back there?
Nostalgic.
Was it?
I didn't get to see really any of my old friends, though. A couple people actually kind of remembered me, which was really weird. It's been 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
People came up to you and said hi?
I had a couple people that were like, hey, weren't you the same guy that did that baseball thing for a little bit here?
You're that guy.
That was me. Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm back.
Okay, so that was obviously an exciting weekend. What was your favorite part the entire weekend? It could be a game.
Goodness.
It could be away from the game.
That's
Anything,
tough.
really.
I don't know if I can narrow it down. I don't know. I think Olivia Dick's buzzer beater probably takes the cake, only because in that moment, there was just so much excitement for Thompson. And at the same time, you kind of saw Central Cass focus up. And I don't know, when you kind of saw the vibe around Central Cass going into overtime. And even though I think Thompson jumped out to an early lead in overtime, there was just kind of this feeling that Central Cass and their veteran group was going to get it done.
So Jay was just saying how they were like so calm. They're like, oh, it's fine. Like,
yeah.
We got it. Which is crazy because I would not be acting that way if that was me.
No, I was freaking out. I wasn't even playing in the game.
I know, same. What do you think about, that's your first time doing the tournament. What do you think about Class B and the environment there?
Wow. Yeah, so forget about all the teams and championships and nonsense. Let's talk about me for a little bit.
Obviously, that's why you're on the show.
Yeah. That was maybe one of the best broadcasting experiences I've had from a play-by-play standpoint, just because from game to game, and even the quarterfinal games that, you look at the final score and there was a bit of cushion, just so much entertainment. And I think especially when we got into the semifinal round, the quality of play was so good. Mm-hmm. And I know I've said this to you before too, but I think what made those semifinal games and the championship game so special was there were very few mistakes. It was not a sloppy game and close, which those are fun too, but this was just big shot, and then the next shot would be even bigger, and that was like the first quarter, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger from there. So they say North Dakota nice. That was a pretty nice way to welcome me to postseason basketball.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, and I was surprised with how many people made the trip.
Yeah, and EKM had a huge contingent there, especially with the weather.
Yeah.
And it got loud in there.
It was so loud.
Got loud.
Okay, so there were times where if you guys have seen me at Bison games, I'm like pulling this thing out my ear. That's what I use to hear the broadcast. And there were so many times during the broadcast, people probably picked up on this. You threw it to me and I could not even hear you. So Cullen literally had to start like pointing to me to like tell me it's your turn to talk. I know, seriously.
Felt like a coach on the sidelines of a football game, like
giving me hand signals. I'm like, wait, what? And he was like, all right, and just kept going. But we made it work. It was a lot of fun. Class A coming up tomorrow, Super A.
Yeah.
You'll be doing the boys.
That's right.
What matchups are you the most excited for?
All of them. Stop it, Logan.
All
I'm
right.
not going to do that. That's like asking me if I have a favorite kid. I don't
Okay,
even
but
have
secretly
kids.
everyone has one.
Well, I know I'm my parents' favorite, so I guess that makes sense.
There you go.
There are a lot of matchups that intrigue me. Honestly, Century Shanley is somewhat intriguing.
Okay, let's hear more.
Obviously, Century is favored. I think Shanley's sneaky good. I mean, this is a team that went on, an 8-game win streak at some point this season?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You have to favor Century, obviously. They haven't lost a game all year. But I'm interested to see what kind of a performance Shanley puts on. I think North Legacy is really intriguing as well. North is a team that just has so much talent and, no seniors. Yeah. What do they have? 2 seniors on their entire roster, and most of their points are coming from junior, sophomore.
I'm excited for North. I don't know why. So me and Cullen have been doing calls with coaches, and when we were talking with North's coach, I just got pumped.
Yeah, no, and he does that to you too. I feel like he's the type of guy. He seems like a player's coach. I know they respond really well to him too, Travis Hogue, but they have they have some of the most athleticism, I think, in the tournament between, Jeremiah, Matthew Sem, heck, Peter Halgo. If you saw him play football, there's a lot of athleticism there. And so, welcome Mahosa. Those are the guys, highlight reel wise, they'll put together probably the longest highlight reel with the dunks and the flashy 3-pointers and stuff. So they're just going to be entertaining to watch no matter what happens. And I'm intrigued by what Bismarck Legacy brings to the table as well. I could go on and on. I could probably go through all 4 matchups. Minot, Red River. Red River's another team that was a little streaky from the East that could maybe give, Minot Century from the West some fits, especially if they don't come to play. And, you're traveling across the state. You're playing it's at the Dome on day one. It's a lot of space, So if one team figures out how to shoot early and the other one doesn't, with how much space there's going to be, I don't know.
Interesting. What you don't think? Do you think Minot is going to be in the championship game? They won it all last year.
I think the conventional wisdom says you're going to see Minot and Century play for the title.
Mm-hmm.
But if we've learned anything
can happen.
There is no such thing as conventional wisdom. So, Davies, if they're healthy, no Max Frosley is tough for Davies.
Mm-hmm.
Jamestown is an interesting 4 seed from the West sneaking in there. They're going to have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Which is always fun to watch. I don't know. I think all 4 matchups on the boys' side, and I think you could probably make a case for all 4 matchups on the girls' side are pretty good TV.
So the quarterfinals for the boys are being played in the Fargo Dome, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have not seen basketball be set up in the Fargo Dome since I've been here. Have they kind of told you what the setup is going to look like?
So it's like football. It's the exact same setup.
So you'll be up high, or
No.
will it be closer?
No, like they play on the turf.
Okay.
Yeah, they just roll. Like those driveway hoops with you put the water in the base. They just roll those out there and just let them go to work.
I was not picking up what you're saying. I was okay, never mind. That would be something.
I don't know.
They should do that one time.
I wouldn't
play.
want to dribble on the turf pellets.
You don't play. You
that would
run.
Be funny.
You run and then you dunk it
Yeah.
with the little water things. That's how we used to play back in the day.
That's right.
On Terry Mill Drive. But yeah, that'll be fun. What are your expectations for this tournament? Do you have any?
As far as
anything?
We'll
leave it up to you.
You can't expect anything. You have to expect the unexpected. And I honestly think there will be some surprises in this tournament. I don't know what they will be, but I think we might not be all chalk throughout the whole tournament.
I don't think we will be either.
Top seeds may not sweep on the opening round.
We saw it in
I don't
Class
know
B
who
girls.
would pull the upset, but you might see some intrigue.
The wheels are turning in my head.
I'm
starting
know.
to think. I think that'll be fun. The girls' side has some great matchups as well. Dom will probably dive more into that tomorrow.
Heck, Cheyenne winning the EDC tournament on the girls' side.
Yeah.
You got for one, that's impressive. But Cheyenne, they're going to have a tough matchup opening round. And then you've got a Davies that's a 3-4 now. So someone who gets a top 2 seed makes the WDAY championships. Got to play at Davies, which was
the WDAY championships.
I always add that extra Y.
It's hard not to.
Once you get me going, once you get through the first 3 letters, I can't stop myself before I get to the 4th.
Yeah, no.
WDA.
Yeah, and Century and Minot, they have some great teams out there. So.
Well, and we were talking to Darren Mattern for Century yesterday too, and his team is just so businesslike.
Oh my gosh,
24-0.
You have to be, I guess.
Yeah, you wouldn't even suspect it the way they talk about what they want to improve and all their goals, and they're not done yet. That's a scary thought.
Scary, yeah. It'll be really interesting to see what happens atmosphere-wise. What are you expecting? Especially in the first day when you're in such a big place.
North Dakota basketball fans find a way to get loud no matter where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit different for some of these schools just because, they've played in probably some bigger arenas throughout the season. Class B, when you go from playing in a tiny gym at, maybe Kindred or whatever it might be to the Minot State Dome, that's a big adjustment. Some of these teams, especially the kids who play AAU that have probably played all over and, had a ton of space behind the basket, that's probably not going to be as big of an adjustment for them. But, it's something to keep an eye out for, especially at the Dome, I think.
It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Class B region tournaments are happening right now. Have you been keeping an eye out?
Oh, it's madness.
It is madness.
It's madness.
Okay, so last night when I opened up Twitter right before.
Don't do that. That's when it gets crazy. Don't open Twitter.
I know.
You just get bombarded.
I did. And the first thing I saw was that 4 wins Minnewacan lost to North Star.
That's right. And there was an upset on the other side of the Region 4 bracket as well. I want to say Warwick went down.
Really?
So yeah, Region 4 is up for grabs. We're going to have a new champ in Class B boys. And, obviously take your red pen and big circle your calendar for Thursday night because Central Cass Kindred and Region 1. You want to talk about loud environments. It's going to be standing room only down there.
For sure.
That's going to be crazy.
That game, so I'm jealous whoever's getting sent down there. Probably Rachel.
Well, she'll probably anchor that night because we'll be doing basketball. So
Yeah.
Shirt and
Shelton
Shelton will be there.
Last year, I went to this tournament, and it was like the craziest atmosphere I've ever been a part of. It was so fun. So I'm jealous that he gets to go to that. I'm excited for that game.
So you got that in Region 1.
Yeah.
Which, anytime Central Cass and Kindred playing anything, tiddlywinks. So that's an exciting environment.
Tiddlywink.
I don't know.
I have never heard that before.
They played Monopoly against each other. That'd be in a good environment, Kindred and Central Cass.
Probably, yeah.
But anyways, and then in Region 2, you got Thompson and Grafton going head-to-head for a trip to state as well. So two marquee matchups.
How crazy would it be if it ended up being a Thompson Central Cass final in the boys' side for state?
That's not far-fetched, especially with 4 wins out of the picture.
Yeah.
That's not far-fetched.
That would be pretty nuts.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But, Class B boys are the same way. You never know who's going to win, who's going to...
You don't.
You don't know.
You don't. And you don't with any tournament. Like, it's up for grabs for any of these teams, I think.
It really is.
Could be anyone at any day. And it's going to be so loud down at NDSU, especially with Central Cassis. We saw how loud they got.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
And those two travel so well. So for it to be that close, what is it, maybe hour 15 from Castleton to get down there?
Probably, yeah.
Hopefully the weather's nice enough tonight that's going to be an awesome environment tomorrow night.
Well, how are the roads when you're driving in today?
Not great. But remember, this game is tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I know we're supposed to get a little bit more tonight, but, if it's cleared up by tomorrow night, you can see a lot of people in that gym.
I want to go to that.
Well, we'll have highlights. WDAY
I'll watch WDAY
news
at 10.
Not WDA, because that's...
With Shirt and Shelton.
I just like to make a public apology, okay?
Okay,
I got so excited.
I mess up people's names all the time. It's fine. I do it all the time. I mess up something at least every time, I feel like. Just part of the business.
But what if I don't want to live that way?
Then do better. I don't know what to tell you. That's on you.
I guess so.
Cullen, thanks so much. I know we got some calls with coaches coming up, so it's go time.
It is. No sleep. Team no sleep. Is that what the kids are still saying, or was that
You're younger
a long
than
time
me,
ago?
so I don't know.
Oh. All right.
All right, Cullen Holt, everyone. We're going to take our final break of the day, and we're going to get things wrapped up here on Hot Mic. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to Hot Mic. Hope you all are having a great start to your Wednesday morning. Thank you for starting it with me. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. It's been a really fun one. This one has went by so fast. Kyle's been in the back monitoring Twitter, and he stumbled across this graphic right here. What do we think? Lamar to Minnesota? Question mark. Now, I don't think that this is ever going to happen, but people love the graphics. What do you guys think? Would you want Lamar here? Or are we still riding high on Kirk Cousins? I don't think Lamar is going anywhere. I just don't know where else he would fit. I would love to see him in Washington. I would absolutely love to see him in Washington. But I think after the Carson Wentz experiment, I don't think they're going to do that. And I don't think Baltimore would want to trade him to a team like in the same market, if that makes sense. Because that's only like 50 minutes away. I mean, it's a different division, so maybe, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see him going anywhere other than Baltimore. And I think it would just be so wrong seeing him in a different jersey. Granted, we didn't even see him the last half of the season. Who knows? Who knows? Anything can happen in the NFL. It'll be a crazy few weeks in the NFL. All right, let's take a look at what there is to watch today. Twins preseason still going on, playing the Blue Jays at 12 on Bally Sports North. College postseason basketball is here. I love March Madness. I love the games leading up to March Madness. Growing up, ACC basketball was like the thing. Like you would literally take time out of school. Teachers would stop and like show the games. Like we would just watch games and not even do school. ACC basketball is huge. And I don't know if this is like a thing across the state or something that just is on the East Coast, not the state, the country, or something just on the East Coast. But growing up, you either liked UNC or you liked Duke. Even if you don't know anyone that goes there, you liked one or the other. And UNC was my favorite school growing up. That was my dream school to go to. I had family members that went there, not direct family members. The Campbells are not smart enough to get in there. But we had, like, my cousins went there. My best friend, she went there. So UNC was my team. That was the team that I always wanted to win. They're playing in the ACC championship tonight at 6. I lost my graphic. There we go. Okay, Minnesota, Nebraska, the Fighting Sam Griezels. If you remember him, he used to play on NDSU last year. They're playing at 8 p.m. on Big Ten Network. I think that should be a fairly decent game. And then the Wild and the Jets are playing tonight at 6:30. Wild are coming off a overtime. Did they win? Did they lose? I didn't watch. Kyle, do you know off the top of your head? They lost to Calgary. But they're playing again today at 6:30, a chance to bounce back. So, yeah, that's what there is to watch. Obviously, there's lots of college basketball going on. I got to get into the betting scene. I don't know much about betting, but I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I see all these betting reporters. I got to start getting into that. If you know much about betting, start teaching me. Because I think March Madness would be like the absolute craziest things to bet on. But you got to be careful and bet responsibly because you could lose lots of money. I know people that have lost lots and lots of money. Virginia Tech, my sister goes there. They came off a crazy win last night over Notre Dame, a 1-point win. They're moving on to play. Let's see. They're playing NC State tonight at 8:30. Ooh. Oh, it's a 3-point win over Notre Dame. But they're going to play NC State. That's also going to be a great game. JMU women's basketball. For those of you who don't know, I am a JMU alum. They are going to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2016, which is so exciting. First year in the Sun Belt. They won the regular season, able to do it in the postseason. So go Dukes. I'll definitely will be watching them. Dom tweeted this out earlier. NDSU women's basketball, they're not done yet. They put in a bid to host the WNIT tournament. When NDSU plays, they put in a bid to host the games here. So selection show, I believe, is on Sunday. I would imagine Sunday, 7 p.m. I would imagine someone from WDAY will be there at that show to see what happens. So it's exciting. Postseason basketball is here, and it is the best time of year. I love college basketball and especially March Madness. You never know. Never, ever know what's going to happen on the men's or women's side. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I got to talk about food. Sorry to the people that hate when I talk about food, but I got to get it in at least once during the show. I'm starting to explore new restaurants. So if you have any restaurants that you like eating at or recommend, please send them my way. Because I'm trying to expand my horizons here in Fargo. Yeah, that is my email. lcampbell@wday.com. Also, I'm going to San Francisco and Nashville. So if you have any suggestions of places to go see, things to go do, let me know. Because I've been to Nashville, but that was years ago. So I don't know what there is to do now. That was back in 2019 for the NFL draft. And I'm going to San Francisco for the first time, and California for the first time. So send me all of your suggestions, food, places to see, bars to go to, all that kind of stuff. I'm visiting friends at both of the places, so they obviously have their spots, but maybe it's time to introduce them to some new spots. So let me know if you've ever been. Send me an email, send me a tweet. I got to check all the places out. I'm so excited to eat the food in San Francisco. I see it all over my TikTok. And Asian food is my favorite food, and it seems like they got a bunch of it there. So I'm very excited. All right, that's enough talking from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Drive safe out there. You've been watching Hot Mike on WDAY Extra and InForum.com.